So first of all, can I thank Sinn Féin for bringing forward this motion, which allows us to discuss and debate an extremely important issue, and that is the format of Leaving Certificate 2022, the exam, of course. As a former maths teacher at Mercy College, Sligo, and somebody who corrected state exams for over 15 years, I'm not an expert, but I do have some insight here. First of all, we're having this debate for valid reasons, because of the very significant disruption for all Leaving Cert students over the last 2 years. Now, some students suffered more than others, and for different reasons. Access to the internet, the ability of 16, 17-year-olds to manage self-learning and discipline their study, everything from the space at home to their level of maturity. The fact that many students, teachers caught COVID, were close contacts, had to isolate for significant periods of school time. There's no uniformity here. One student might have had less disruption, while another would have had very significant disruption to their education and learning. Some students had to limit their time at school because of their own underlying conditions, while others may have lived with vulnerable people. Some students might have had to take on certain extra responsibilities on the home that were COVID-related. Other students may have suffered long COVID. There's a very long list of valid reasons why students are seeking a hybrid Leaving Certificate. Now, I listened carefully, Minister Foley, to what you said, and I am happy to accept that the government significantly supported schools, and I fully agree with your assertion that teachers, principals and boards of management put the education and well-being of their students first and ensured that the system kept working despite very significant challenges and some very scary days. Now, while I do appreciate the fact, and I listened to what you said, that various adjustments are being made to the Leaving Cert exam, I am gravely concerned they won't be enough. And the adjustments you spoke of will unfortunately not be sufficient to take account of the different experiences of COVID disruptions that different students had. For example, you mentioned greater choice, but that's not enough. It could easily happen and will happen for a percentage of students that, let's say, they have to answer 3 out of 6 questions. They might have only covered 3 of the questions, giving them no choice, while others might be just lucky enough to have covered 5 out of the 6, which gives them real choice. Now, you and I know, Minister, that can happen by chance. It can happen because a student was absent in a particular week. It can happen because some parents can afford grinds to cover gaps in the course. It can happen because some students are capable of self-learning. But if it happens, and it will happen again and again, then some students will be disadvantaged. And despite your very best efforts, they will lose out. You also spoke about rearranging the exam timetable, and you spoke about orals during holiday time, out of school time. Minister, many students use their Easter break for revision, to catch up, or indeed for a short break. All of that time is eaten into, and students find that their backs are against the wall if they're sitting orals. And, Minister, in many ways, I think orals outside of school time is a retrograde step, because it puts students under further pressure, and that's the last thing I think that I want and you want. You also mentioned the fact that you would increase the supply of teachers and substitutes, and you have, and that's good. But we all know that stopgap, and in general, retaining your own teacher is what makes the difference. There will be time for a debate on the future of the Leaving Cert when we have evaluated the current system and properly assessed the alternatives. We need to do that. We need to do it quickly. But tonight, we have an immediate and pressing issue to deal with. As a former teacher and somebody who loved her job, and as I said, somebody who corrected exams, I strongly support maintaining the integrity of the exam system we are operating at. We may change that system, but while we are using it, we must maintain its integrity. But don't forget, a traditional Leaving Cert examination has its limitations. It's not always about the grades that students receive on their exam papers. The grades are often readjusted up or down to conform with results in previous years. You and I know that the bell curve reigns supreme when it comes to the allocation of grades. So, Minister, a hybrid Leaving Cert, and I won't be prescriptive about the type, but it's not perfect, but right now it will give greater certainty, greater clarity, and help our students and teachers do what the Taoiseach asked all of us to do: live with COVID.